What is your favorite anime?
Mine's Skrillex.
Skrillex.
I'm so distanced from human sensibilities and stuff.
Was getting caught part of your plan?
Put your tray tables up and your seat in the full upright position, because this is The Flight Plan, the official podcast of Big Guy for You Scanlations, Japan's #1 Bane posting manga scanlation podcast. Join the flight crew, Tom and Aidan, as we bants about all the anime, all the manga, and all that scanlation content. What are we talking about today, Tom?
Crimson Black Blaze, king of myriad worlds. Though I promulgate the laws of manga, I am the alias of Weeaboo incarnate in accordance with the principles of scanlation. Let the hammer of eternity descend unto me. Chuunibyous, that's what we're talking about.
Fool, do you not know who I am? I am the Dark Flame Master. Perish, enveloped in the flames of darkness if you think you can best me with your foolish intro monologue.
Well, you got me there.
That's great. I think that's a wrap. Let's wrap it up. The episode's done.
Yep. So yeah, that's what it is. Today we're talking about Watch Mojo's top 10 anime Chuunibyous characters.
I want to get that sound drop so it'll play the Watch Mojo intro jingle. It's like doo-doo-doo.
I can't picture it. I watched so many of them in college because one of our roommates would always play it on the TV. And
you didn't kick him out? You didn't get him evicted?
Actually, he didn't even pay rent for one whole year.
That's why. He
was living on our couch. He was one of our roommates, but then he moved out, and then he moved back in. He got us, yeah.
Got him. It's like, you know, that picture of the dude where it's like, you don't have to pay rent if you're not on the lease. Like
that's what he did. Yeah, he got us.
We had one of those too. We had a small Asian boy that we just let live in our closets. Actually, he was actually under the beds most of the time, which sounds like I'm making a meme, but it was true.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, he's some kind of goblin troll creature. Since we're already off topic, let's stay off topic. Do you have any top of the show stuff?
Well, I just want to give a small shout out and thanks to all the new passengers we picked up in the past week. We're almost at 40,000 passengers, and I'd just like to thank everyone involved, and thank you for all posting and like and subscribe, tell a friend. And while you're liking and subscribing, also subscribe to PewDiePie. Also Grande. We need to beat back the evils of T-Series. So I'm doing my part, and let's all do our part together to save YouTube.
Full disclosure, I am not subbed to PewDiePie.
You need to unironically do that.
I don't want him in my... he's actually... I keep getting PewDiePie recommendations in my video. Like,
yeah, that's because... Dude, you know, he got like over... Let's see, it was 544,000 subscribers in one day because Markiplier told his people to go subscribe to him. And same with Jacksepticeye. And so they sent all their nine-year-olds over to hang out with PewDiePie's 9-year-olds. PewDiePie, I didn't like him for the first forever, but in the past couple of years, I unironically watch his videos. They're pretty good now.
Interesting. Really my main exposure to PewDiePie was he played a game Blue Oni. Somebody came over to our apartment in like some college year, I don't remember when, and one of our friends. And he's like, guys, check this out. And we watched like the full PewDiePie playthrough of Blue Oni, and it was so bad. It's like an RPG Maker horror game. The game looks okay, but like PewDiePie was just screaming the whole time.
Well, that was his thing for the longest time. He played games like Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and things like that. And then he got famous, or he really blew up when he started doing the horror reviews. And it's just him screaming. But now none of his content's like that. It's all pretty good, and I watch it unironically.
Well, how times change.
Exactly.
Before I don't know if we're veering from the YouTube, but there's a phrase that I have come into contact with recently that I won't have a chance to use in a correct context, but I just want to say, I forgot what it was. It's something like, welcome to the Rub-a-Dub Sub Club. I think that's what it was. So yeah, if when you sub, pretend I say that. Hear it in your ear.
You know, when we eventually go over to the live and we have like a sub feed when somebody subscribes to us on Twitch, we'll have a sound clip that says Rub-a-Dub-Dub, thanks to the sub club.
That's it. I stole that from another streamer though, so we might not be able to get away with that.
How about welcome to the Dubs Club, because we dub things. We dub manga.
That's an interesting philosophical question that you're posing there.
Is
it a sub or a
dubbing?
dub?
Yeah.
I think it's more of a dub, but when I do sound effects, it's a sub.
Ooh, that's a hot... No, because you can sub in SFX too.
Well, here's what I'm thinking though. In terms of manga, a dub is when you don't have the original text and you only have the localized, so like speech bubbles and stuff. But sometimes, like when the sound effects is like part of the art or it's too complicated to clean out, I'll leave it in and I might put like the English next to it, and that would be subbing.
I think you're drawing an analogy too far away, because a dub is audio, a sub is just text. Manga is just text.
Interesting. Well, I mean, you do have to extrapolate it out from the audio universe because we're dealing in a different medium without audio. So it's not an option. If you do an audiobook reading of a manga, yeah, maybe I guess that would be a proper dub, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen that done. You can go on YouTube.
What?
You can go on YouTube and see people doing reading. Look at like the reading of comic things. Like, look at all the Homestuck ones. There's ones for manga all the time. People reading in character the lines. And since they're not reading from the Japanese raws, they're reading from English translations. That's the dub. The YouTube video is the sub.
Okay, so then for the sub, you would have to get a Japanese person reading manga and then have English subs to it.
Huh. No. Because once again, I think you don't have to have audio to have the dub, because you can mute a sub. God, I'm getting this is getting off the rails. I'm losing track of my definitions too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a question for greater minds to ponder over.
Leave it in the comments. Team Aidan. Hashtag Team Aidan.
You can't team Aidan every episode, you know? Because that one guy who calls you dad will always say that. It's not fair.
Well, he calls us both. To be fair, he calls us both dad. He never specifies.
That might be worse.
It's Shale Shalele.
Hey, well, that's a fun name, certainly. So points for that. Well, did you have any other top of the show stuff?
No, I think that's it. Can we think of some kind of good Can we think of some good
before we... Yeah, I think I know what you're trying to say. And before we... it's difficult, but, you know, I
how do I words?
That's a question that I am still searching for the answer for. See, I don't know. But I feel like I need to do the obligatory Sudoku segment for myself, just because I promised 2 chapters this last weekend, and I only got 1 out. Oops.
I'll be your second.
What?
I'll be the second. In a Sudoku, you need like a secondary samurai to
of course.
chop your head off.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And then when the time comes, I will, of course, reciprocate and serve the role for you.
Thank you.
I got it. Boom. And when I do slice your head off, I will use my my super sword of darkness. I don't know. I can't talk like a Chuunibyous. I'm too old. I've lost it.
If you don't know what a Chuunibyous is, just go to YouTube.
Which is, I don't think anybody knows what a Chuunibyous is.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. How do you say it?
8th grader syndrome.
Come on, no.
Chuunibyous.
Yeah, what'd I say?
I don't know, Chihuahua?
Yeah, let the record stand that I said it correctly.
No, but okay. If you don't know what it is, what were you saying?
It's like, if you need an example, just go to YouTube and type in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix Sora vs. Roxas live action.
Oh. Just go to any anime convention. I forgot about this. I'm going to watch it real quick.
2, 1. Sora. Roxas. She was Kyrie. She's part of the darkness now. She doesn't need the light. fight. You're nobody.
Dude, his pants.
He almost like trips down the mountain when he's coming down.
Yeah, well, hey, dude, it's hard. It's snowy and it's like a hill.
I love the UPS truck in the background.
Where are your friends now?
Oh, that guy's got moves.
Part of the darkness.
He gets like, he gets dual wield.
Oh, I haven't gotten there yet. He keeps twirling his sword.
You can tell he like really practiced that. I mean, he's not, I don't want to say he's good at it, but like he's practiced.
He's like pointing, trying to distract the guy. Oh, he's Sora?
I have no idea.
I thought Crazy Pants was Sora.
Dual wield. Here.
I don't remember him getting executed in the games.
Ah!
Is he wearing the long pants because he's trying to be in character? Like with
No, that's just his normal attire.
I see.
You can tell.
Yeah, those are like old school. Shoot, what would they call them? Like K-style pants. Not parachute pants. K-style.
I can't kill you. You're part of me.
Well, he did do the hood thing, so I think that's like a... That probably is in character, so it might be.
Those are
The
like
whole thing might.
those are called fat pants.
Cool.
PHAT pants.
I assumed, yeah.
Yeah, those used to be. Ah, man, there was a brief moment at one time
Oh, I
when
know
I was a
it, I
kid
know it.
where I was like, wow.
I know it. I think Kid is being generous.
as a
A burgeoning youth. As an 8th grader.
30 as a 30-year-old kid, I would be like
8th grade syndrome.
Yeah.
All right, so
because they were pretty
do whatever
cool.
you're going to
They
say.
were cool looking.
We're too off track here. Or for those passengers who are visually impaired and or otherwise occupied and can't watch the video, how about you give a brief synopsis of what it is and maybe what a Chuunibyou is?
It's often shortened to Chuuni or Chew2 Electric Boogaloo. I know, but so it's CHUU and the number 2. Who would say that? How is that often shortened to that?
Ni is a pronunciation of the numeral 2, so I get where that's coming from. Oh, well, also because the name Chuunibyou refers to 8th grade syndrome.
Which is the second year.
Chu being middle school, yep, and then Ni is second year. And Byo is sickness. I mean, it's kind of basically when you're usually a child, hopefully a child, you're wrapped up in your own self-delusions of like grandeur, and you think like, I don't know, the common themes could be like there's an evil organization out to get you, or you have like a secret power that you're like, you can't show to the world, or I have a bandage on my hand, and if I were to unleash it, if I were to take off the bandage,
My powers unraveled.
my hand is just so powerful. Exactly, yeah, it would destroy the world.
The exact symptoms of the Chuunibyou aren't entirely set in stone. Generally, they act like a know-it-all, and they think they have special powers that nobody else has. Some definitions even go as far as like they're obnoxious and arrogant, or they like act superior. They put on airs, things like that.
Well, I mean, that's part of the delusion. I mean, yeah, it does manifest in different ways, but just think of like, if you actually did have those powers, because most of them think they do. Some of them actually do, so they can back it up. But like, just imagine how anybody would treat it. Some people would get arrogant. Some people would try to like hide it and be secretive. I mean, if you're listening to this, an anime podcast, you know what a Chuunibyou is, and you probably are one.
Like we all are. Like I think the most common thing and most beloved maybe trope would be the eye patch over one eye, because that's your Sharingan eye, or your super dark flame, the magical eye. Oh, here you go. I'm looking at the TV tropes, and 2 of the main things are magical eye and or evil hand. Like, that's exactly what we said. I didn't even read that.
I mean, they're on that list for a reason, because those are the main 2, really. So I think though the most important thing about Chuunibyou as like a trope for the characters, 9 times out of 9, They're the best character.
I only know like 3 of them well, and they are all the best characters. But
See?
I'm not. I can't say that forever because I haven't seen them all.
Well, that's why I said only 9 times.
Let's give an example of one. We'll start off. We'll go in strong. Not only the best Chew 2, but
You're
also
gonna start
just
with the showstopper. I already know what you're going for. It's the number 1 best. Don Quixote de la Mancha.
exactly.
Just kidding.
No, we're gonna do Fumikaze Toyami from My Hero Academia.
Who? Literally who?
Exactly. Nobody knows who he is. He's a literally who.
That's not the Birdman or the Crowman, is it?
That is the Birdman. Yeah, that is the Birdman.
Well, you're going to say Megumin. I know it.
The best, yes. It's the best. Is the best girl this generation. Everybody's
Probably.
waifu. Best character of Konosuba, of one of the best animes that's ever been created. Basically, what this whole podcast revolves around, and the reason I do it is Megumin.
Worship.
She's the best.
That's what the podcast is all
She's the
about.
greatest. Yes. Exactly. We're going to have to rebrand.
That kind of reminds me of an interesting point here. It's definitely true that like chuuni waifus are pretty much like the toppest tier of waifus, or certainly up there. But I think the power of the trope is that it's so strong that even the dude characters are still the best.
If we ever get a season 3 of Konosuba, it will probably be the best season because it ends right at whatever volume it is in the light novels. And I went to read that, and that is the best novel in all of Konosuba that I've read.
In all of literature.
It is. It's basically like, it's way above anything Hemingway did or Shakespeare, that garbage. Nobody wants to read that. That's old and busted. Let's bring in the new.
Mixed with the Iliad, mixed with the Odyssey, mixed with the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. It's all of those. 1001 Arabian Nights. It's better than all of those combined.
Yo, what if the Odyssey was a 14-year-old girl? Damn, it's the best. Like
The Odyssey itself, like the book. What if the book were a 14-year-old? Well, okay, we're like 20 tangents down the rabbit hole right now. But there was an anime that I think was a light novel, as they all are. But it's where the girls possessed the spirits of famous books. And they like had magical schoolgirl
Fate
fights.
Stay Night.
No, it's
Similar though.
It's German, so I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Machen or something. I don't know, but it's the only anime that I've seen where the quality was so bad, like the animation quality. It was so bad that even I noticed it.
Wow.
And I think they never finished it. This was from like a couple seasons back, and I think it got canceled because the studio got shut down.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah, and the quality was so bad because they had like funding issues. It's actually kind of sad. The show wasn't good, but I still wanted to finish it.
Yeah.
And I never will.
That's too bad.
What were we
I
talking
don't know. I'm trying to recover.
Megumi. Oh, you were saying that the next Konosuba is going to be great. Were you implying that there's another Chuuni character?
Oh, dude. Okay. She goes back to her home village. Her whole people are Chuuni or Chew-2s. 2.
Nice.
Chew-2s too.
That's good. They are also Chew-2s.
Yeah. I mean, and it's absolutely fantastic. So I'll spoil the lore here a little bit because we're never going to get a season 3. Previously in Konosuba, it's an isekai, but there have been other people that have come from Japan previously.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He created those people. He created the explosion or the black mages.
What the?
Yeah.
So a guy who came from Japan got isekai'd into the world, and he created the Megumin clan?
Yes. Like all the Megumin clans have barcodes on them because they're all like
What?
and they all have names like Dark Flame Master. They're all like edgelords, things like that. It's absolutely fantastic.
So they're not even humans?
No,
What are they?
they're what I don't know what they actually were.
Are they? Let me choose my words carefully. Are they compatible with humans?
Yes, I would assume so.
Okay, I mean, because that would be a couple points docked from the ultimate waifu of the decade.
Yeah, it's the Crimson Magic Clan, and so it was made by like I forget the whole story, but
Well, you don't even need to spoil it all. Just like the cliff notes, he's an isekai guy who made them somehow, and he's a big chuuni, I'm guessing.
yeah, in fact, he also made the Destroyer and all the other various things that came through before.
What was the Destroyer? Was that like the giant final boss?
Yeah, that was the giant final boss in like the first season, I believe.
I really wish it were animated because I'm not going to read. Maybe is the manga? Does that cover it? Do you know?
I don't know how far the manga is, but basically, I think what he did is he found Chu types and then he modified them with his own magic.
Oh, so they were humans.
Yeah, and but now they're an offshoot because it's been so long.
What was this, like centuries ago?
Like they're a new race. Yeah, because he's been dead for a while. But now they all have barcodes and.
Oh man! Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that because didn't they find him in that giant machine, the Destroyer?
Yeah, and they found his diary where it's like he accidentally activated it and it went on a rampage and he was just stuck in it watching it. He's like, whoops, like.
Oops, oopsies.
Yeah, and he also made like the ultimate, like the whole clan now worships like some of his relics, and it's like he has the ultimate weapon.
Yeah,
and it's just fantastic. And they have it like they're guarded by like secret runes, and it turns out it's just like Japanese instructions on how to open the door.
Oh man, I need to. Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to read. I don't want to read.
It's so great.
Do they have audiobooks?
That would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Well, don't they have software that can automatically read audiobooks? I might look into that.
Well, I wouldn't do that, but Kazuma comes in and he's just like, he's embarrassed that he can get through it. They're like, wow, you must be a powerful mage. Like, and
he should have gone along with it.
Yeah, and they all have crazy names. They all have cringe lord names. And to top it off, this is all like just steeped in just adorable Megumin like romance stuff. So you're like, wow, this is the greatest story I've ever read. Yeah, which was why I was so hyped when they announced season 3, but apparently that was fake news. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, I thought there was a movie though, wasn't there?
There is one scheduled, yeah, but I don't know if it's going to be its own thing. I can't imagine that they would just, I don't know. I feel like because there's so many other stories that are bigger in the lore that have happened so far. Like there's some awesome, like I don't even think in the anime you find out who Eris is.
No, she's just a goddess. That's all we know, I think.
Yeah,
that's all I remember.
But well, in one of the seasons, she winks and says, "Well, I'll have to come and visit."
Come and visit what? The world?
Kazuma in the world, yeah.
Oh, I thought she could travel freely.
Yeah, well, she's like, yeah, maybe you've already met me. So it's like,
oh,
she takes it on a different appearance.
Dang.
When she comes to that world. Oh, dude, and then there's a great hole.
Oh, don't spoil everything.
No, I won't. Well, obviously you're gonna want to skip over this part if you don't. But like, there's a great part where Eris and Kazuma have to team up as bad guys, and they're Chu types in the thing. Kazuma becomes like I forget what it's called, but he's like the Lord of Thievery or something. Nice. Where he's like,
is this during the Megumin is a Thief spinoff?
Yes, okay. It's based off that.
Yeah, that one does have a manga.
Because Megumin, she sees them and she's like, oh my god, you guys are amazing. Like, why everybody thinks they're all cringe.
Yeah.
And she's like, wow. Like, and it's like, and she doesn't know who they are.
Is it obvious? Is it like a Soga King type situation?
I mean, for us, yes, but for them,
other characters. I mean, obviously Megumin's too stupid. She's like the Luffy.
No, okay. I don't think so. But out of the main cast, she's the only one that like meets them up close.
Right.
But what's great is the main cast does at one time have to fight against Kazuma and Eris, and like they don't. Oh, it's just fantastic. I love the show. It's like my favorite. It's my favorite anime and my favorite light novel.
Yeah,
and that's saying a lot because for the longest time, I really enjoyed the horror high light novels, but that was probably because I was like a young kid at the time and didn't know quality.
Oh wow, that's gonna upset any 50-year-old listeners that we have.
All of our 40-plus-year-old boomers that read it along with me.
I watched the anime,
but actually, I still do like it.
Didn't do it for me.
Wait, which one?
Haruhi.
Did you watch the very first one, or did you watch Endless 8? Or
I don't know. I watched it like the whatever anime was out of order. I watched it in the
the very original one. Yeah.
It didn't do it for me. I could see the appeal though, so I'm not gonna say it's bad. It just wasn't for me. Well, so that was our episode on Konosuba. So that is Megumin is like the main chuuni in my heart and brain in terms of my knowledge. We should probably pay some lip service to whatever that show is called Chuunibyous something, because that was the first exposure I had to the concept. I don't think it's the first one like to ever use it, but that's probably the one that pushed it into mainstream, at least like in the West.
Well, yeah, it's probably one of the most famous examples, and it's the reason why this term is widely known even outside of Japan.
Right.
It's I don't know what I can never pronounce the Japanese names, as is the running meme here, but the English title is Love, Chuunibyou, and Other Delusions, or Chutu, because that's the anime adaptation of the light novel. But you've got Utah, who's the little middle school boy, and he used to have Chutu syndrome, and he called himself the Dark Flame Master, which is badass. He had belts and zippers all over his outfit.
Oh, yeah. And I think he's probably the one you were quoting in your opening monologue, your counter monologue.
Yes. With my dark flame eye, yes. Anyway, obviously, it ended up alienating him from all of his friends and things like that. But he like recovered when he went to high school, and he's like, "Oh my god, that was so embarrassing." And he's like, "I'm gonna go in. Nobody knows me anymore.
New school, new me."
New school, new me. He's gonna be fantastic. Nobody knows him, but oh shoot, what's this? There's this little girl who has the same syndrome. She knows him from the other school. She's the only one that did, and she's only interested in him as the Dark Flame Master persona."
Right. She did not grow out of it, just to be clear.
No, not yet. But she's in high school as well. She believes that she's like a little witch with the ability to see people's destinies through her wicked eye, which she keeps behind an eye patch.
And for the longest time, like I had seen her character. I mean, this is like when the show was coming out, and I didn't know anything about the show or her character. But that was the first time I saw that specific kind of eye patch, or even eye patches in general. Hers is like a medical patch. Like she went to the nurse's office, basically. That's what it looks like. And
well, you know how they have the masks for when they're sick?
Yeah.
This is in the same aisle. It's a common thing. Yeah. I've seen it a lot in actually animes.
Well, I always thought it was like some kind of like Katawa Shoujo kind of weird fetish type thing. I had no idea that it was like chuuni stuff.
Well, I mean, it's been co-opted for that, but there's also, it really goes with like, I don't know if this character was a Chuunibyou, but he was something or another, like a psychopath, where it was, I forget his name, in Air Gear. There was a dude who had an eye patch. He had a split personality, and depending on what eye the eye patch was on, he would either be like a sociopathic killer or like...
Or the nicest guy you've ever met.
Yeah. You would like, we all have a dark side. Yeah, so I guess you could count that as Chutu.
Yeah, I think maybe. Or just generic trash anime, multiple personalities. I don't know. That was why a great anime.
You take it back.
Writers love that kind of thing. I haven't seen it, Air Gear. I heard it got really crazy though. Like it starts as like a normal like street racing, like rollerblading, and then it gets to like world-ending magic powers and stuff. Yeah,
it's like ridiculous. It's pretty cool. I never finished it, but every once in a while I'll go back. I'll be like, today's the day that I'll finally go through and finish reading it, and I never get very far. But it's great. If I recall correctly, I don't remember if Best Girl wins, but we'll see.
Well, anyway, back to the Chuunibyous show, whatever it was called. Do you think love can bloom in the cringe field? I think it's the localized name. And so I hate to admit this, and I think this is something that I will rectify in the relatively near TM future, but I've only seen like 2 episodes of it.
It was pretty good. I mean, obviously...
Yeah, I think I would like it a lot.
The reason to watch it is for her, obviously, and there's other Chu2 girls in there. There's 2 more, and they're decently high tier for side characters. Obviously, they're not in the running for the MC Bowl, but yeah, I mean they're there as well. There's also, I guess, some OVAs or some movies, because I sent you a scene where, spoilers, there's a confession, and I don't remember that in the anime, so maybe I'll have to go. Yeah, so I'll have to go find that. But that's some progress that, we're just not used to in our Mongolian cartoons. We don't get a lot of progress. Which
is half the reason I would want to watch it. I mean, romance animes, it's, well documented that they make me feel empty inside, so I try to avoid them. But at least this one does have a resolution. Or maybe the movies have the resolution. I don't know.
Right. So and she's a great character.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just remembered there's in one of the first 2 episodes, they apparently like live right next to each other. Like she lives on top of his apartment, I think, and doesn't
she can live on top of mine, if you know what I mean?
You got him, dude. Doesn't she like go
flip
from
down
her
one
balcony to his balcony? Yeah.
Yep.
See, I like that.
Which is just mwah.
Straight out of one of my animes.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that could have been... Actually, I like this better than the across the street trope where their 2 balconies meet. I like this one better because this one's...
Okay, yeah. I've only seen that one in Manga Sensei. But yeah, that's great. And I do want to watch more. Full disclosure, we came up with this topic today, so I didn't have time to watch it. Otherwise, I would have watched it to prepare. Because, yeah, I think that's a real winner. So moving on from that one, though, we've covered 2 waifus now. And, it's kind of controversial for me to use this term. But how about we move on to a husbando?
How is that a controversial term exactly?
Well, I don't want to call a dude character a husbando. That has implications.
No, because you can say somebody's gar, and like that's fine.
What?
You never heard that term?
Well, isn't that like Kamina? Like,
oh yeah,
cool dude.
What okay, gar is an acronym. stands for gay for Archer. It goes back to Fate Stay Night.
Oh, everything goes back to Fate Stay Night. Which one was Archer? I don't
the dude in the red trench coat.
Oh, is that the Poindexter nerd as his? Oh no, that was Ryder. I don't remember Archer. Man, Fate Stay. I don't like it. I don't remember that. So you know how in Fate games or in all media, the hero that you summon for the Grail War is based off of a famous heroic figure in the past. Yeah.
And sometimes they get modified. Okay, this is the coolest trope ever. In the present day, somebody gets called to the Grail War that is a hero based on a hero that's already alive in the real world.
Oh, the main guy's Archer.
Yes. So the main dude himself is not the dude, but the guy who gets summoned in is the persona. Dude, I didn't.
I saw that twist coming when I was watching it, and I was angry at it because it doesn't make sense.
Oh, it makes total sense.
No, I mean just like physically wise, like the appearance. You can't change your like phenotype or whatever like that.
I mean, it's a drawing, so we'll never know exactly how it was, but it doesn't like when I read it as a visual novel, so it was more believable there, I guess. But no, it's not. It's loosely based off somebody's archetype. It's not their actual representation. That's why Jack the Ripper is a little girl.
Oh, okay. See, I never heard it explained in those terms, and that's kind of forgivable.
I might have made that up, but I'm thinking it's real. It sounds believable.
Yeah, so it's true.
And if you say something with enough confidence, it's true.
Yep. Anyway, the guy I was going to bring up is Okabe from Steins Gate, aka Hoin Kyoma, or however he said it.
You know, it was just a couple episodes ago where I used his phrase. What's the one that they say?
Let's get crack-a-lackin' drinking that Dr. Pepper. That one?
Ooh, Dr. Pepper, the beverages, yeah.
Oh, the phrase, I am mad scientist? I really don't know what you're talking about. What expression, what phrase?
It's like made up words.
Oh, El Sai Congru, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. El Sai Kongro. Like, it's great. It's fantastic. Yeah. So, how is he exactly? Is he just a mad scientist trope, or is he a Chew too also?
He is a Chuuni, and that manifests in the form of a mad scientist.
This is something where I think we can have a discussion and maybe bring in some other people as well. Is it Chew syndrome if you also have the powers to back it up? If you can also shoot fireballs?
In his case, yes, because his personality manifested long before his quote-unquote powers. So he faked it until he made it, basically.
Well, isn't that what we're all trying to do?
Sure, but, I mean, this is in the context of Chuunibyous in particular. Well, I think, though, the good thing about, like, Okabe is that he's kind of realistic in a way, other than creating time travel. He's somebody that could exist in real life and not be super cringy, I think. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess he is cringy. Never mind. Cut the last 10 minutes I just said of what I just said. I don't know what to say about him, but I feel like we shouldn't just name drop and then quit. We should say a couple lines.
You should go watch the anime. It's great. That's it. Oh, and the OVAs was pretty good too. Although, I mean, they kind of. Oh, you gotta watch it. It like wraps things up more. There's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff there as well, and then there's a little bit more completion to the romance side of things. But you know, we'll never get. You'll never see their little kids running around. That's just not how anime works. You don't get that part.
You say that, but have you seen Steins Gate Zero, I think it was called? The one that just came out in the anime?
No, I haven't. No.
So I have.
Will I be pleasantly surprised?
I don't know. I haven't finished it because it got really boring, and I probably won't finish it because I also heard it's very unsatisfactory the whole way through, and it gets worse at the end. But there's a character from the future that I'm pretty sure is their daughter.
Nice.
But I don't know if that's her identity or not because I stopped watching before they would have revealed that one way or the other.
Well,
I'm pretty sure
he has a great granddaughter at least.
What?
Isn't that Twin Tails? Braided Twin Tails from the first season? The girl who comes back in time with the time machine.
No, that's
she's his.
No.
Oh no, that's Fat Dude's
sister.
Yeah,
Daughter.
Daughter, sister. It's all the same in Japan.
You know, I was picturing the correct family tree in my head. I just said the wrong word. I've been watching too much anime. But yeah, that's the super elite hacker guy's daughter. But yeah, basically, I don't have a whole lot to say about him. But I want to be Okabe when I grow up, and it's too late because I've grown up, and I'm not him.
Oh yeah, I wanted to grow up to be Spike Spiegel, but I'm not exactly.
Doesn't he live in like a post-apocalyptic world?
No, they just live in the future.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
No, that's Trigun, right? With the desert.
No, Spike is Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, he's Cowboy Bebop. I get those two mixed up.
Both excellent shows and shows that I've modeled my life after.
Yep, unsuccessfully. So I think though, on the topic of faking it till you make it, you wanted to kind of veer off into a related area.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, so are edgelords considered Chew too? Like Sasuke? Like he's edgy. He's like, I have the power. My Sharingan eye is the greatest.
That's such a hard one to answer. I'm tempted to say yes, but in my heart I feel like the answer is no. I think intellectually the answer is yes.
Could possibly be it's a square rectangle scenario where maybe Edgelord is a spin-off of Chutu or vice versa.
I think it's more like a Venn diagram.
Interesting. I could see that. Yeah, because, you know, I think there's a part of being a Chunin that makes it not necessarily comical, but you have to have somebody else has to be the straight man for it.
Yeah. I feel like an important aspect is that they're highly bullyable, and or they create the desire in one to bully them. At least in terms of the waifus, you know.
Or in Megumin's case, protect.
Well, it's, you know, two sides of the same coin.
Press P to protect.
I mean, bully and
exactly.
protect, obviously.
Bully tech, bully side. Please no bully.
Yeah, bully side, exactly. Yep.
We don't get to use that word enough.
Bully side? Yeah. I don't know if I've ever said it, actually. Yeah, I would say Sasuke. There's an argument to be made either way, but I would say probably I would call him not Chuuni. Just because he does have the power and he has like an edgelord back. Like, he's living the life a Chuuni pretends to live.
Hey, that's a very good point. Yeah, I think a lot of people maybe model themselves after him, and like how we mentioned the Kingdom Hearts thing, like Riku.
Oh yeah. Well, Riku's more like the edgelord rather than a Chuuni.
Yeah, so I think when you put on the archetype or put on the persona as an edgelord,
right,
in a scenario where you can't be, maybe that's the distinction.
Okay, yeah, because there's not magic and stuff in the... Well, actually, no, because Megumin has real magic.
So here's the thing with Megumin. Do the normal people in the world think that she's as cringe as Kazuma does?
Yes.
Even though as cringe, because
they think her name is weird at the very least. So I assume that they think everything else is weird too. Because you've never seen anybody else doing like that over-the-top spell recital thing, the chanting.
That's true. That's interesting. It's an interesting dichotomy, because I know it affects Kazuma specifically because he's familiar with that trope from Japan in the past. And their names are all like, I don't think they were Japanese names, but they were like Japanese-inspired Chutu names.
Maybe. On the name Megumin itself, though, I don't know why that sounds so weird, because Megumi is a real name. And I've seen Megumin
I think it's supposed to be cutesy.
I've seen it as a character name in other things. That makes sense, though, the cutesy thing. I will buy that. Because going back to, I guess it's now my favorite manga or anime since I've mentioned it twice now, Eromanga Sensei, there is a character named Megumin in there, and she's like a relatively normal girl.
Is it spelled differently at all?
No, you can't spell things differently in Japanese. Well, you can. Never mind, but...
There's no spelling involved. Japanese is a very intricate and very detailed language.
Yeah.
You can't spell things incorrectly.
Yeah. Oh, you can, but you can't.
Language for true masters.
For true, yeah, I've got nothing.
Intellectuals.
Such as myself.
How about this? I've got some lightning round discussions. Okay. How about the daily lives of high school boys? Basically, all of them are Chutus.
Maybe, but I was gonna say, aren't they in 8th grade? But it's in the name high school, so shoot, you got me. Yeah, they kind of count. They don't really live it though. They just they're just having fun. They're having fun.
They're hanging out after school. One of my favorite skits is when they're pretending to be like superhero action stars, and like they all play. Like one of the dudes is playing one part, but all the other dudes are playing like 7 parts. He's like, why do you get all the parts? Why can't I be other people too? And it's like, and they do an intro like starring Eric, starring Kazuma, starring, like, and it's all like, it's just flashing the same guy because he plays all the parts.
Nice. Yeah, I don't remember that one. I need to rewatch that. It's such a good one.
That's a great one. And the literature girl is the huge thing there, She's another adorable Chutu type. She is sitting on the riverbank, the stereotypical Japanese drainage ditch.
I still don't know if that's what it is.
So like, but it just sounds funny when you say it.
Does,
like
it
that.
does.
They all the kids hang out at the local drainage ditch.
Yeah.
But she's reading a book about like the Harry Potter Twilight equivalent of like the Wind Master.
Nice.
And she's like, I want somebody to come, the Wind Master to come take me away. And the one dude is sitting there and he's like, oh man, I have to role play and play along. And he's like, the wind is sad today. And she's like loving it. She's eating it up. She's like, it's great. I think she's the best character. That couple's the best.
Man, I don't remember any of the girl characters at all. I barely remember any of the guy characters. And yet, the ending song, one of the ending songs, has been stuck in my head on and off since I watched the show, like almost a decade ago.
It's fantastic. I love that show. That was one of the first. It wasn't one of the first animes that I laughed to, but it was the one where I laughed probably more. I was like, it was the one where it kind of broke that stereotype in my mind that Japanese things just aren't funny.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's a different cultural things, but it's like I can appreciate their humor on an intellectual level, but I had never like laughed really hard until like Daily Lives of High School Boys. And there were like maybe two other animes around that year type where I was like, wow, okay, there are some funny ones.
True. I agree. Endorsed. I endorse your statement.
You second that amendment.
Yes. Well, that wasn't very lightning, so let's do the next one.
Kaido
from I'm doing it this time. From Psyche Kusuo, whatever that was called.
The Disastrous Life of Psyche Kai. That was, I'm not even memeing, that was my second one I was going to go to.
Excellent. Yeah, because he was best boy in the show. He was great.
He's a conspiracy theorist who has a secret identity known as Jet Black Wing. He's fighting to protect the world from the Dark Reunion.
Yeah, Dark Reunion.
Like,
which doesn't even make sense, but the Japanese people will say English words thinking that they're cool. But it really does fit the trope that
they do that all the time.
I mean, we kind of talked about him, and whenever we did the manga minute for Psyche, that's why it's lightning round. But every time, like, my favorite thing about him, what really endeared me to him, was that every time he appeared, like, on screen, at least for the first few, like, appearances in the anime, they would play this song, which is like, Judgment Knights of Thunder. It was so good. Yeah, he's got like a crazy epic theme song.
Yeah, I was going to use the word epic, but that word's been ruined. But that does describe a genre of music and sound.
Okay, now this word is epic.
All right. Kaido is epic.
But yeah, great character. Just that's all I have to say. He's the best.
That's funny. Yeah, I had thought you totally forgot about him. I was going to sneak that in. I was going to say, oh, this is something that you've read.
Nope. I was ready. What's the next one? Hit me.
So you can have like lapses of Chutu syndrome. And
what do you mean?
Shoot, I wanted to do a prequel joke about Boruto, but I just have to say, in Boruto,
who knows about Boruto?
Nobody knows about Boruto.
Skip. What's the next one?
He starts acting like a Chunin when he thinks he's unlocked Bakuyan, and complete with sunglasses and a smug attitude, and everyone just like thinks he's a weirdo and thinks he's making it up to get attention.
Wait, is this real?
Yeah. What do you mean? No, Naruto's not real. Like it's like a cartoon made in Mongolia.
No. I mean, there's an arc where Boruto thinks he unlocked whatever power, and then
it's his mom's power. No. It's his mom's power. The white eyes.
Oh, I don't remember her. But so I don't know why that's funny. But you're saying there's an arc where he thinks he learns the power, but he actually doesn't, and he goes around pretending like he's some hot stuff.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it is. It almost makes me want to read it.
Same here. Yeah. Well, there was speaking of Naruto, a lightningness. There was a whole arc where all of the kids became Chunins.
What do they mean by this?
No, I don't know. It's a different word. I was trying to do some kind of joke there. Fell flat, but that's okay. One person appreciated it, and that was me.
Exactly. Well, basically, we just do this podcast, so I have something to listen to in the gym, and you have something to listen to at work.
True that. So who's the next one? Lightning round.
That was it.
Okay, well I've got a couple more. I've been watching a playthrough of Danganronpa. I finished one and now I'm mid the second game, and there's a guy on there who is the coolest dude around. He looks like he's wearing something kind of like the drunk dude from Final Fantasy X, where it kind of like covers his face a bit, and he's got like a big scarf. In that game, it's like every character is the ultimate something. These are all like high school kids. Like, I'm the ultimate athlete. I'm the ultimate, I don't know, quiz boy, whatever. His is the ultimate breeder, which doesn't mean what you think it means.
I don't know what it means.
It's more like Brock from Pokemon, which doesn't mean what you think it means. It means that he likes to breed animals.
Breed with animals?
No, one animal with another animal.
He's the ultimate furry. He's the ultimate deviant art poster.
Yes.
The ultimate Brody.
And his fursuit is so cool. Yeah.
Oh, the glomping scene.
Man, the clopping scene, I don't know how they snuck that in there and still got the T rating. Oh, I said clopping, but yeah, that too. No, anyway, he does this thing where it's like a visual novel, so like every character has like a full like 2D thing, like when they're talking. You know what I mean? Like the full body is like a picture on the screen. And they have like different like emotions, different poses. And like, I don't know, 4 out of 5 of his has like 4 different hamsters just like existing on his body in like different poses and stuff, and like
hamster, like I'm like visualizing it now. That's fantastic,
dude. It's so great. You need to look it up. Yeah, you need, like, one of them is just like hanging on like to a scarf or something in one of the poses, like because he's the ultimate breeder, so he breeds animals. And I guess like these 4, he calls them like the 4 dark devas. I don't even know what that word is, of destruction. I have their names written down. San D, and these all have like hyphens in them. So San D, Jum P, Maga Z, and Cham P. It's like they're just hamsters. Like, you know, I don't know. He's a chuuni. He's the coolest character in the game so far. I'm pretty early into the stream, watching some dude play it, because it's easier to play or to watch people play games than play them. So yeah, that was my lightning round.
I like him. I just looked him up. He's a good dude. He's got Hamtaro.
Yeah, he's got 4 Hamtaros. I do guess I have one more who is also best boy, and this is another video game, but it's also kind of an anime video game as well, so I think it counts. Zeke from Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, you're right.
He was the coolest and definitely a chuuni.
He was pretty good, and he had maybe second best girl.
Right, because Rex had best girl. The main character had best girl.
Rex abandoned best girl. Rex.
Oh no! So spoilers.
Nia was best girl.
Yeah, I did say spoilers, but
no, we've already spoiled everything. Nia was best girl, and she's like, it's like, Rex, I love you. He's like, I love all of you. And it's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna reach in inside this switch, and I'm gonna switch your life from on to off. Like, that's, I wish I could have. Who thought that was a good idea? Nia was best girl. She had the hottest outfits. She had the best body. Like, angers me.
Yeah, tracksuit really did it for me. Let me tell you, or the speed suit. Yeah, let me resurface my theory here. Best girl lost, but that means she's available for you, the player. Rex was such a loser, you wouldn't want him to end up with Nia.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. But don't you remember Nia's alternative outfit? That's like the greatest.
And another reason that Rex is undeserving.
True.
So it's better that she's left there for the player. When I get isekai'd into Xenoblade Chronicles 2,
yep,
Nia will be my wife.
Yeah, but she'll still be hung up on him. She'll always be distant.
No, because Rex is such a loser. Anybody could outcompete Rex.
Yeah, but he's still like, doesn't the whole world like end at the end? Wasn't it all a simulation?
Yeah, I don't know. He probably kills God or something. I don't know. That's how JRPGs work.
Like all Xenoblade games, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really remember the twist at the end because there's always some stupid god twist. But
I never quite beat Xenoblade 1, but I got to like the last dungeon. So I went back and like watched the ending of it, and I was like, this ending has nothing to do with anything I was doing, even in the last dungeon. Like in the last 20 minutes, the story just disintegrates.
yeah, they really spring it on you like in the last, I don't know, 5%.
Speaking of games, here's another one. What about Gladion from Pokemon Sun and Moon?
No, you can't mention him because now that ruins my whole theory. Because I was saying Chuunibyou characters are the best, and he's the worst. Because he's also he's half edgelord. That's why.
So he's a mix between edgelord and other things. He doesn't become. He's a little bit better in Ultra Sun and Moon,
No,
but
I don't even
not by a
remember.
lot. Yeah, because we just skipped through it all because that was
Yeah,
a
it's the same
disappointment.
game
Yeah.
with one extra room. He's garbage. I hate him. I hate edgelord characters, and there is kind of, like I said, that the Venn diagram. But he's the only Chuuni I can think of that I actively dislike. Oh, I got one more lightning round. One more honorable mentions. There's some girl
What
in
is that
defrag.
from? What is that from?
It's just like it's one of those like top 10 kind of things.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, I know what you mean.
And now, before we get to number 1, let's do our honorable mentions.
Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is somebody's foot lettuce.
Number 15. But as it turns out, that might be what you get. Yeah, the blonde girl from Defrag, I forgot what her name was. I never liked the show. I have a weeaboo friend who likes it a lot. So kind of as a pity thing, I watched a few episodes of it for him. And she was the only good part of the show. That's it. That's why I said honorable mention. And now, number 1. Megumin from Konosuba. But we already talked about her.
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. The dude came up with his identity in his teenage years as a way to get back at his dad. Like, screw you, dad. I'm a half-blood.
What are you talking about? Wait, who did what now?
I'm pretty sure it was Snape who's the Half-Blood Prince.
Oh, okay. Well, he's an edgelord, not a Chuuni.
Well, he came up with his Dark Lord, Edgelord persona as a teenager, so...
Oh, so then he ended up faking it till he made it in a way.
Yeah.
He started as a Chuuni, but then he became the edgelord that he pretended to be.
Yeah, so I mean,
Interesting.
that's almost a... that's almost a heartwarming tale at the end, except I don't know if you've seen like I don't even think it's a retcon. It's just like, or a fan theory, but it's like Snape was the hero all along, and he was like NTR'd, and through the entire time he was like the most painfully destroyed character in all of Harry Potter lore.
Yeah, I don't remember enough to
because he liked Harry Potter's mom, and like the other, and Harry Potter's dad NTR'd it out of him.
Oh no, literal NTR. Yeah, I don't want to hear about that.
He was tasked to raise Harry and protect him. That's why he was so mean to Harry all the time. But it's like he's still but he also still like protected him at the end, and then had to do all this stuff to save Harry at the end. And in the end, he sacrifices himself and things like that. So it's a tragic tale.
Was he appreciated at the end at least? Because I don't remember. Did they at the end say, "Yeah, Snape was okay"?
Well,
was a
I
good
think
guy.
it's up to like the audience to think he's the good guy because everybody else is dead in that show for the most part. Everybody but the main cast. Oh no, I got my things a little mixed up. The main hero was supposed to be Neville.
What?
Because you've never heard this story?
No.
So it's like the whole prophecy doesn't describe somebody like Harry. It describes somebody like Neville. And in the end, he is the one that kills Voldemort. He takes the sword of Gryffindor and kills Voldemort with it. Harry Potter doesn't.
How do I not remember that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Harry Potter's not even the chosen one, which is actually...
I do remember in one of the last movies, maybe the last one, Neville was pretty cool. He had some cool moments. And doesn't he hook up with that one girl?
Oh yeah, the little elf-looking
weird
girl.
one?
Yeah, she's hot. She was my favorite.
Yeah, she's almost Chuuni. She's
I
weird.
thought Hermione was hot until she quit that and then shaved her head and to look like a cancer patient. It was not. It was not a
Right.
good
Well,
one.
that was that wasn't part of the Harry Potter canon. Canonically, she's a black woman. Don't you remember from the play?
Oh yeah, with her pale white skin.
How did we get onto Harry Potter?
Harry Potter's anime.
I don't think so.
It's it was Harry Potter's based off Little Witch Academia.
Ah, excellent. I'm surprised it doesn't have an anime other than that one, which you just mentioned. But anyway, now that we've moved on to Harry Potter, I think that means that we're done talking about Chuunibyous, and I think we can get to the.
So if I was going to use my Dark Flame Lord Edge Eye
Okay.
to perceive into the future, where and when I could find the next scanlation that we're doing, or the next podcast episode, where would
How far into the future are you gazing?
I'm going to put 2 bananas into the microwave to look into the future.
Oh, okay, because that goes in the past.
Oh, well, no, I'm going to go
They
so
turn to the gel bananas, and then you send a D-mail to the past, a pager, and then your friend gets born with a different gender.
I thought it was the whole thing. The bananas go into the future. How did that? Wait, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember how
Who
time travel
knows,
works.
man? Yeah, in real life, I just don't remember. I wish I could. I wish I did remember.
You know, why hasn't the government watched that show and then just replicated what they did in there? Doesn't that seem like a smart idea?
No, because CERN is too powerful. They're holding on to all the IBM 85s or whatever the model was.
That's true.
But if you were to go into the past and or the future and or even, dare I say it, the present, you could read the manga on MangaDex or whatever sites scrape from it. Message probably both of us there. I'm not quite sure how messaging works, but you can figure it out. There's the Twitter. I think that's Big Guy 4U scans, numeral 4-letter U. There's the Gab, which is Big Guy 4U. There's... I don't know, that's probably it for that. If you want to try your hand at cleaning or typesetting, hit me up on one of those, and then we'll get talking. But yeah, then there's the YouTube, like you said.
Drop a line in there, say hello, tell your friends and family, subscribe, like your videos.
Do we have a URL for that, or is it just
no?
find us at Big Guy 4U? Probably is what it's called.
Well, yeah, you need 100,000 subs to get an official thing, and we're at 40,000 subs.
No way! Wow.
Well, I'm adding a couple zeros to our numbers, but
let's get T Series to give us the boost, and then we'll
So unsubscribe from T Series, subscribe to BG for You,
Who is subscribed to T Series? Like, nobody listening to this.
and subscribe to PewDiePie.
If you're subscribed to T Series, I want you to turn this podcast off right now.
This is a PewDiePie household. Like, when you pay the rent, you can
you're under
do
my
that.
roof.
But as long as you're living
that's
under
my
our
rules.
roof, under our plane,
Unless you have a parachute, there's no escape.
they need people in the wreckage. So you're all going to be in the wreckage.
There it
How's
is.
that? Someday we'll have a actually good ending. Until then, this was the flight plan.
Yep.